All right, welcome to The Hard Way. I am Donovan Saadiq. I'm going to lead off this hour. A lot of controversy going on out there in regards to black folks. And there's always something. Now, I just want to bring up something real quick before I get into my topic. How many times have I said, I'm going to post what I want to post on my page? How many times have I said that?
A lot.
I don't have a problem with people debating because you can get a debate on my page and I won't even comment.
Right.
That's because that's the whole point of me putting it up, to have people talk about it and discuss it.
Right.
But one thing I will not have is you to tell me what I can put and what I can't put on my page. If you want positivity and want to fool yourself into thinking, oh, we're queens, everybody can't be a damn queen. Or we're going to be kings, everybody can't be a king. How are you going to be a queen and you living in the hood?
Well, you know, this queen could be in a state of mind.
Okay, and that's fine. If you're going to be a queen, stop looking like a jester, painting your hair pink, purple, and blue.
Where's my coffee?
Yes, have some coffee. So let's get back to that. And again, I've always said, I served the country. I went out there and put my life on the line. Even if I'm wrong, I'm not hurting anybody. My freedom of speech, I'm going to say that. That's the only problem that I have on my page. Now, this forum and this show, we want everybody's opinions and, let's discuss it, whatever the deal is.
Right.
But recently I sent you a video of a young little girl twerking in a nice little hoochie suit, whatever the deal is. We shouldn't be talking about that.
I mean, at some point in time, we got to stop sweeping stuff under the rug. We have to start dealing with the dirt that's under the rug. So
right, exactly. And everybody knows Dee is very pro-black and very, she's not a feminist, but she's, she stands up for what's right and how you do it. Now, I'm a black man, and the natural order of things is the man is the leader. So if I can't hold you accountable, my sister Dee, if I see you in the hoochie show, you don't think I'm going to call Al and say, hey, man.
You going to dime on me?
I'm going to dime on you.
You going to snitch on me.
That's right. Hey, Al, your girl is out here,
She got it all
now. The booty shorts.
Right.
But the thing is, if I can't correct you, who am I supposed to correct?
Well, I just think, that goes to the argument of who should hold me accountable. Should it be you or should it be me?
Right.
Because to your argument about posting what you want to post, I should be able to, I'm not saying you would like it.
Right.
I should be able to do what I want to do as well. But at the same time, I don't want to hijack your narrative, as I'm just speaking as a black woman, you can't say you're looking for a good man and you're doing lackluster things. Because a man worth his weight is not going to deal with a woman who is doing lackluster things.
Thus, we'll talk about that in the second option in regards to Kanye and Kanye, whatever you want to call them. But I want to talk about something that I really can speak on. And for those of you guys that don't know, there was a tech sergeant at Nellis Air Force Base that made a comment, and the Air Force is investigating it now. A lot of people say, well, you don't know this and you don't know that. One thing I do know is the military. Mm-hmm. And in my experience, 24 years in the military, I could tell you this. For 24 years of my time in the military, they had conditioned me, and that's why it's called training.
Right.
Basic military training. We are going to train you to be a soldier.
Right.
Or an airman or whatever it is. So for 24 years of my career, they told me homosexuality and military life is incompatible.
Right.
So then, as the years go by and this social experiment cascades into the military, and things change, and I understand that, and they say it's okay to be gay in the military.
Right.
I knew it was my time to go, because to me, it's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that it is not compatible. I do not want to be in a barracks where a guy is possibly going to sexually assault me.
Really?
I'm just saying possibly. Because, here's my thought on that. No, here's my thought on that. Okay, if we're having a homosexual guy, and that's okay, why not let men and women take showers together?
See, forgive me, but that argument is so faulty.
Okay.
Because that's saying, because somebody is gay, mm-hmm. and we're just going to use a man as an example, that means he's a predator. That's like people saying a gay man is more than likely to molest your child or your son. Well, statistically speaking, I said it right, mm-hmm. That's not true. It shows that straight men offend against children way more than gay men do.
Right,
so.
but see, we're talking about military. for the inception of the military, homosexuality was not compatible. So I was trained to believe that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not making an excuse. I'm saying
okay.
I was brainwashed to believe that.
Right.
But I was smart enough to know, you know what, times are changing. Maybe it's time for me to go. And when my time came, I left.
Right.
Simple, no harm, no foul, whatever.
So
now we have a tech sergeant who was in a group forum, and she was asking, why is it that every time she deals, just about every time, she deals with her black subordinates, they have an attitude.
Right.
Now, when I saw the video, and matter of fact, let's just stop that. Let's chase and go to the video.
Fucking issues with my airmen and my NCOs that are lower ranking with me, but they're black females. And it pisses me the fuck off that they have no fucking respect and constantly having an attitude. And what the fuck is up with that? Like, I'm trying my best to hold my professionalism with them, but good God, they have no fucking respect whatsoever. Every time I talk to them, no ma'am. It's just like they're talking down to me. And I'm trying to tread lightly as a, higher ranking NCO, not to fucking blow the fuck up and start a fight club. But I'm over it. Why is that? Why is it that every time I encounter, my subordinates that are black females, they have a giant fucking attitude? And it's not like I'm coming to them with a fucking attitude. I don't. But every time I fucking talk to them, it's like I'm just some fucking stupid ass girl that it just doesn't even, what is that called? Like I don't even deserve to be talked to as a person. So educate.
Now in that video, to me it was like a question. She was like, why is it they have an attitude? Why?
Yeah, she was saying, help me out. What do I need to do?
Yeah.
What am I doing wrong?
What am I doing wrong? Why do they keep, treating me as if I'm a dumbass and I'm a higher NCO?
Right.
But yet everybody jumps on, especially black women, jump on it and make it seem like, and this is my opinion, to me it was more like a question statement.
Yeah, because a lot of people were saying, and I've read a lot of comments about it, and a lot of people were saying she was being disrespectful. Mm-hmm. She was being racist. Mm-hmm. Now, most of you guys can see, unless you're blind, I'm a black woman. Mm-hmm. And so I watched her rant, as some people are calling it, a couple of times, and I couldn't really see where she was being disrespectful. Mm-hmm. I saw that she was legitimately frustrated. She was very frustrated. But she was really wanting to know, is there something I'm doing wrong? Right. What can I do differently? And she did ask, why do black women
have these attitudes?
The ones that she comes across have bad attitudes. And then she was saying, too, that they refer to me as no ma'am.
Right.
And a lot of people was like, well, isn't that a form of respect to say no ma'am?
It is, but in the military, no ma'am is reserved for the officer women.
Got it.
So when you're an enlisted sergeant, it's really disrespectful.
Right.
When you're not addressing them by their rank.
Yeah, because I saw a lot of other people who were in the military said that it actually is a form of disrespect. Right. But if you're taking it a little bit, to the hood per se, on the ground level, maybe she meant that, because we've heard this before. Yeah. Black women say, no ma'am.
No ma'am, yeah.
No ma'am. Basically, I ain't doing it. No ma'am.
Right, and and like I said, it also depends on what region you're from.
Right.
Okay, it's obvious this lady's Asian, and she was, she came out of
Asian?
Texas.
I couldn't really tell, because some people were saying that she looked like she had some.
Well, yeah, she looked like she had. I mean, I'm very sure she's a military kid that was mixed out because she's in Texas.
Okay.
When you see a bunch of, and I don't want to say this, but it's like being in Alaska. When you see a bunch of black folks in Alaska and North Dakota and stuff, they're mostly there in the military. Right. They're mostly there because they're in the military. Yeah. But, so, you can tell she's, very frustrated in the video. And, what are you, just if you agree with it or what you don't agree with it, it's funny how people who weren't in the military say, oh, that's right. She can't be doing it. There's a difference. I mean, a lot of us military people, again, it's about good order and discipline.
Right.
However, how she could have basically expressed herself a little bit, I think, I can't control a person's attitude in the military. but I can control your behavior.
Right.
And so what she should have done is start documenting these attitudes and what was going on, because that will clearly control their conduct.
Okay, so I agree with that, even though I've never been in the military, because I've seen people say that they should have corrected her behavior, or
Their
she should
behaviors.
have, right, opposed to getting frustrated.
Right.
And some people also question her ability to lead if she was getting frustrated to that degree.
Well, she was only a tech sergeant.
Okay, but this is where the rubber meets the road for me. To deny that black women have a reputation. Let's just even say that we have a reputation.
Wait. Be careful now.
Well,
Be careful now.
listen. I'm asking questions, okay?
All right. It's a question. Okay.
Don't you think to deny that black women have a bad reputation for having a bad attitude and, as I say, a sassy mouth?
I'm getting out of here.
Listen.
The comments of her is a her and hers alone.
I'm asking questions.
Okay.
I'm just asking
Right.
questions.
Because I don't want to get my ass whooped.
So you just gonna leave me out here to just sit
Yes.
I could fight, okay? I think it's a little silly to deny that that's an issue with black women, or at least we have the reputation.
Reputation,
for it.
right? I
This
mean,
is
and
going
here's
for reputation.
here's another group of people saying it.
And so then I guess to me the better question is, how did we get that reputation?
Okay.
Did it just fall out of the sky?
Mm-hmm.
Did somebody just make it up? And listen, I'm not saying this is true for all black women, because I personally don't hang around black women who behave that way.
Okay.
I have seen black women behave that way.
Mm-hmm.
But so, and I also know black women who don't behave that way.
Okay.
Me being one of them. I'm not one to, get an attitude with you or talk all crazy and stuff. You ask me, what time is it? Why? Why you want to know what time it is?
Mm-hmm. But
don't you gotta watch?
Wait, how many times when we first started this show and we were getting our clickbait and stuff
Mm-hmm.
and everything built up, how many times that I would tell you, you'd be at the airport and I'd be like going on my trips,
Yeah.
and it'd be 9 a.m. and you'll see these young black women with their fists balled. 9 a.m, they just got there.
Well, a friend of mine who shall remain nameless, he says that a white guy came up to him
Mm-hmm.
and asked him, why are black women so angry?
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling him, in his experience with black women, they just seem so angry.
Angry.
Says that, did something happen to them? What's going on to where there's so much anger in how they present themselves?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not sure if he said all black women, but in his experience, he was asking the question, why is that the case?
And I'm going to say this: people have to stop being stupid. Number one, when somebody makes when somebody makes a statement, they are not saying all because they haven't met everybody.
Right, you can't put absolute.
Yeah, so
exactly.
stop being
Right.
absolute about everything.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you, in my experience, black women have attitudes.
Right, and I think that's where the issue is.
Okay.
In your experience and my experience, and I took a little small poll yesterday
Okay.
and asked people, out of your experience, out of 10 black women, how many of those in the public sector that you've come across has had a bad attitude or something smart to say while they were helping you? Most people said 7 out of 10.
Exactly.
I would venture to say it's probably 6 or 7 out of 10 in my experience.
Recently, I was down in New Orleans, sick as a dog, and I know my mom is probably watching this show, but we went through a Popeye's chicken line.
Stop.
Okay? And no, seriously. Or no, it was McDonald's or one of those
That
ones.
sounds like the start of a joke.
Yeah,
Two
no.
guys walked into a bar.
Right.
2 black people walked into Popeyes.
But seriously, true story here. We walked through McDonald's to get some coffee or something, and the attitude, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with that girl? My mom was like, that's the New Orleans niggas that came from New Orleans, right?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I'm not from there. My mom, so I'm like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, it's a different breed of people. These people aren't from Slidell. They're from New Orleans. So they have a different way of dealing with you. It's like, here's your shit. Go. Boom. No customer service, no experience, But like I said, recently, that's what I experienced with my mother. down there, she even says there's an attitude problem.
Right, and that's why I said, you know what, I'm done arguing with people.
Are you arguing? Or are you defending?
No, I'm not even, because I don't like to argue. So I don't do those type of things. But I'm just done having a conversation with people who fail to acknowledge there's a problem.
Right.
Now, of course, as we said over and over again, it's not all black women.
Not all.
Just like it's not all dogs or Mexicans or cats or horses. It's not all.
We're talking about that group.
But we're talking about, and I want to just really address the reputation that we have. Because, like you said, you have bad experiences. In all fairness, I've had bad experiences with black men too. But I must say that I can't, in my recent memory, recall having a bad public customer service experience with a black man. I'm not saying I never have. I just can't recall.
You want to know why?
To my recent memory, I can't recall.
You want to know why?
Why is that?
Because we could work at McDonald's and we could try to hit on you because you look cute and everything. But y'all won't give us the name or number because we work at McDonald's.
But I would say that, just in my experience, I'm not saying it's true for everybody.
Sure.
But the black men that I have dealt with in the public sector have been very nice. Whether I've called Verizon or whether I was, at Walmart, Best Buy, wherever, I've had nice experience. I mean, very helpful. The other day I was at the health food store. Okay. A brother, I needed to ask him some questions. I was looking for some beets, and so he took me. And he took me all around, and he was very nice. Oh, so you like beets? You like? Knowing it now.
Well, no. Look, you know what, Al? I know you're listening to the show and you love your woman and everything like that. Let me tell you something. If other men ain't looking at your woman, you shouldn't be with her. You shouldn't be with her. So, I mean, because if they're not looking, then what's the point? So.
Right. But we digress. So he was very helpful and cordial and just amiable. He was showing me around. Oh, we got this and we got that. Is there anything else I can help you with? Are you sure? Right. Okay, so if you need anything else, I'm just right over here on the next aisle. I mean, it was just like...
Here's my number. Here's my cell number.
No, I don't think you...
Yeah, I'll be right over here. Call me if you need anything.
Nah. But he was very nice. One of the last times that I had an experience with a black woman in the public sector, I went to pay my father's gas bill. Yeah. This lady... She sat there. First of all, I walk up to the window. She didn't say, hi, how can I help you? Listen, I ain't even said you got to be singing it when you're talking. Just, how can I help you? Something.
Yeah. Can you do your basic customer service training?
I walk up to the window and I said, hi, how are you? Because I was like, oh, damn, since you're not going to acknowledge me, how are you? I'm fine.
It's over there.
I'm fine. I said, okay, well, I'm here to pay my father's gas
Then.
bill. Well, we don't take credit cards or we don't take debit cards. No, I said, sure, we don't take credit cards. You don't take debit cards either? No. I said, well, what? Okay, so you just take cash. Because she didn't even say we just take cash. I said, okay, because I wasn't from around the area. Yeah. Is there somewhere I can get some cash? I don't know. There's, because I'm not.
Over there.
No, she said, I'm not from around here either. I don't know. My daughter was standing there with me.
Did Deanna put her hand through the glass? And
no, we were just looking at each other, and there was a gentleman who happened to be black behind us as well, and he shook his head. Now, I'm coming in there to give you your employer who writes you a check some money, but you didn't want to do the basic jobs. And not only did you not want to do the basic jobs, you had an attitude like you're bothering me. Yeah. Really? So if I was to call your boss and say, I'm coming to pay my bill, but yet your customer service rep has a really sour disposition, then I'd be wrong because I'd be trying to get you in trouble.
Right. So there it is. I mean, and that's not a new narrative I've heard. Like I said, I could sit in the airport and you can see the black women coming in there. We're not talking about passengers. We're talking about airport workers. Their fists are balled, or like this, 7 in the morning. Hey, good morning. How are you doing? White lady, Becky?
Hi.
Sister, look. Just walk right past you.
And I'm not saying either that I've never had a bad experience with white women, Mexican women, and all that stuff. Personally speaking, I can't recall recently that I have.
And on a regular
basis. I mean, like I said, whether I'm calling Verizon, whatever it is, if I get a black woman, in all
and you
fairness,
can tell if it's a black woman.
A lot of the black women that I have spoken to in the customer service, for the most part, they were cordial and nice, but the good majority of them,
right?
I mean, you might as well have called Hitler.
Yeah, when I call for cable, if I have to call, and I hate doing it. Yeah, this is Shamika. How can I help you? Well, Shamika, my cable didn't work last night. Is there an outage going on? I don't know. Well, can I get a credit for that? Well, I'm not sure. I don't think we can give a credit for that. Well, ma'am, my cable was not provided last night. Could you help me? Sir, I just told you. The cake...
You get on her damn nerves.
Yeah, I just told you. There's nothing we can do. Can I speak to a supervisor? Oh, you want to speak to my supervisor, huh?
Wait. They gonna tell you the same thing I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. What you need my supervisor for?
I can't tell you how many times I've gotten that. Why? They gonna tell you the same thing I'm telling you. They're not gonna change what I'm saying.
Thus, we have a problem in our community. And, just give us your thoughts and your comments on regards to that tech sergeant. Obviously, she's a tech sergeant. She's going up into the higher ranks. Obviously, she maybe need remedial training in how to supervise and how to get the best out of her subordinates. But to me, she asked a question statement, and it's obviously she was very frustrated because she did not know how to lead.
And I think the issue, too, is nowadays people put everything on social media. Here she was, thought she was doing it
in a closed group.
In a private group amongst her peers, and then somebody dined her out.
Right.
And now she's potentially in trouble, going to lose her spot or whatever it is.
And you bring up a good point. If I was in the military right now, I wouldn't even be doing the show.
Right.
I would wait till, like I said, I wait till I got out. Now I can say what the fuck I want. Fuck you, fuck you.
And that's the thing. People don't realize you can't just do, and somebody is going to hold you accountable. Mm-hmm. Like the stuff we do. Right. Not everybody likes what we do. We'll get comments, people saying this, that, and the other. But at the same time, we're going to do what we're going to do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to please everybody, but there's going to always be somebody that has a problem with what it is you do. And so if you are in a situation like her in the military, you probably want to wait till you get out. Or maybe just...
or talk to your other NCOs and ask for advice.
What can I do?
A good example with me being an NCO, then when I became an officer in Alaska, there wasn't a lot of in a flying squadron. There's not a lot of black players. So in a squadron of 100 people, there was 3 blacks. I was one of the 3. So we didn't really deal with a lot of. When I was an enlisted person as a mechanic, Negroes all over the place. Mexicans and like that. So in a flying squadron, there's not a lot. Most flying squadrons are 98.6% white Caucasian. Okay? That's just a fact.
Right.
So in Alaska, small group, Air National Guard, what they would do, they would, some people would send their colored troops. Can I say?
Colored troops?
Well, no, what I mean by colored troops.
That reminds me of Soul Story.
Yeah. Not just black.
You don't want to do.
Yeah. Not just black, but the, Hispanic, people, some troops of color to me because, I could relate to them a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But what they didn't understand is when you're in the military and you're in trouble and the old man or the boss, he wants a predetermined outcome, that outcome's going to happen. So it isn't like I had any control of what was going to happen. So when you look at the military JAG, like when you see that movie JAG, military courts are nothing like civilian courts.
Right.
Because certain things aren't allowed and it's just the way it is. Do you know that the JAG office has almost a 99.6% conviction rate?
Really?
Yeah. They almost never lose because the outcome has already been determined.
So if you do something, you just like, okay.
Yeah.
Now, how much time am I getting? I don't even want to fight this.
We have this thing called Article 15s, and it's called Captain's Mass. And that's where this one, your commander, whoever it is, he determines what's going to happen.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Because in her situation, she's obviously a boss to some degree in the military.
She's a supervisor.
So let's say you were her boss.
Yes.
And she repeatedly comes to you.
Yes.
Saying, I'm having this problem with this, what do you call them? Subordinate airman or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having problems with this one. Mm-hmm. The next week, okay, I'm having a problem with that one. Mm-hmm. What are you going to think?
Okay, as a commander or
or better yet, wouldn't you say, that's why you have the job to handle
Right,
this.
Exactly. And then if she keeps coming to me with that, number one, I would tell her what she needs to do, start documentation, so that we can start processing their black asses out of here.
Well, damn.
Right? So that's how
you said that like you had some issues before.
Yeah. Let's start. Well,
I jogged some memories.
Yeah, he did. Well, I told you about there was a young brother. He was ordered to pay by the state of Mississippi $75 a month and was not doing it.
Stop it.
And I made sure there was documentation to process his black ass out of the military because that was unreasonable and there was no excuse for that. But anyway, but for her, what I would have said, start the documentation,
Right.
and then I would have gone to her supervisor or her first sergeant,
Right.
and told them that we might need to get her some leadership skills and some way to to better her supervisory skills.
Right.
Because you got to motivate. And the Air Force is different than the other branches. The Army and the Marines. I have the stripe, even though I'm a cook and you're a special forces guy. I got the stripes. Right. If I say take that hill, you're going to take that hill, no questions asked.
Right.
Air Force is a little bit different because we're a support organization. So if I'm a load master and you're a first sergeant, you have no aviation experience, but you just came in from the services squadron, so you were giving towels out at the gym. My job.
Right.
You don't tell me my job.
Right.
I don't tell you your job. So, there's a little difference in how you do it. But in leadership, you should know how to motivate and leader.
Okay, but let me ask you this. And I'll ask this question and I'll tell you why I'm asking it. Is it possible that even though you're a leader, some people you just can't lead?
Yes.
Because when I was volunteering at the school and stuff, one of the reasons that I tapped out, I'm just keeping it real, is because I couldn't deal with the disrespect and just
But that's,
I don't care how anybody takes this.
Mm-hmm.
It mostly came from our little black girls.
Mm-hmm.
Now they little to me, they were middle school,
right.
but it mostly came from them. And then you know what? The supervisor, who was a Mexican chick, she asked me. She says,
"Could you please stand?"
No, she says, "I'm not trying to be racist." People when they really want to say something about black people, they say, "I'm not trying to be racist or anything." She says, "But why is it that I have same thing?
Mm-hmm.
I have so many problems with the black girls?" She said, "It's not really the black boys,
right.
It's the black girls. They tell me
cute.
off, and they know what they're not going to do.
You ain't gonna tell me."
They was doing all of that. I mean, the last day I was there, a girl got suspended, or she got kicked out of the program because another little black boy said something to her. Mm. Nothing major. Do you know she took off in a windmill on him, was all on his head? I mean, just effing him up. Right. And the supervisor was like, "Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Why? What would cause her to do something like that?" And I was just like, but in my head, I was like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Well, see, knowing when to tap, that's a form of leadership because, you're getting to a point to where if you can't motivate somebody, and that's a form of leadership. When you know you were in above your head, that is a prime example of a leader. Because you say, I've had enough, I'm done. Don't sit there and become the problem.
Right, because that's what I'm saying. I mean, some people you just can't lead.
You just can't lead them.
There's some people. I mean, listen to Marcus Garvey.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to lead black people. He had 3 million worldwide. This is the early 1900s.
Left 56 million of us right behind. We're still here.
The early 1900s, before there was phones,
right?
Social media, television, all of that. He got collectively 3 million people, but there was always somebody.
Right.
He couldn't lead.
Yes.
Turned him in.
But in the military,
for something small, stupid.
Yeah. But in the military also too, there are some people that break through the cracks and they aren't trained properly. So sometimes you might have to do remedial training on those people. And some people you just say, like Evan Moron here in Moreno Valley, you just get rid of them altogether.
Right.
Because they are not compatible to military life.
Right.
And then that's when the documentation comes in. And that's why that supervisor should have at least said, "I told Airman so-and-so on this day, blah, blah, blah," and her response was, her response was. When I have the documentation as an officer or, the higher up, it's a cut and dry case.
So let me ask you this, too. Do you think it's as hard, especially for somebody like her, to lead, let's say, black women because, or maybe she gives them a little bit more leeway because she's afraid that maybe somebody's going to invoke racism or whatever the case is because, she said it to me this way and said it to me that way.
See, a big problem is there's a difference between joining the military and being born in the military. Mm-hmm. I was born into the military. Mm-hmm. So with my parents, there was no, I want to go to, Ross, and I want this clothes and I want that clothes. I wasn't given choices. Right. It's either this, that, that. The little choices I was given, that was it.
These supermarket shoes or these supermarket.
I knew that what I did on an everyday basis as a child affected my parents.
Right.
Whereas you growing up, you can go out there and act holy hell. It's not going to affect your parents' job because they're not in that circle. So it's a little bit different. So here's a young, troop. She's coming in there, and she's of that new caliber of these kids where they think everything's right. I don't want to offend you. The military is not about offense. The military is about organization.
Right.
I don't give a damn if you're black, white, Asian, whatever. You are an airman, and that's how you should look.
But look
at
all the heat she's taking.
Yeah.
Just because to me,
that's because
she asked the question.
But that's because people use the military as a social experiment. The military does not have time to deal with homosexuals, to deal with transgenders. That is not the place to deal with that stuff. But our politicians who've never served, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but a lot of people that are in the military know what I'm talking about.
Right.
We do not have time to be a social experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Our job is to do this, do our job, and get it done. We don't need the distractions. So if I'm not against homosexuals. We've always had homosexuals in the military. I don't care.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, no. Even if you don't like that policy, I don't care what the policy is. Right. See, that's what I'm saying. That's when all that stuff started creeping in.
Right.
I do not care what you do behind closed doors in your personal life. All I care about is here's our mission. Let's get it done. I don't want to hear about it.
Right.
Period. We are not a social experiment.
Well, that's how I guess I'm more like the military because that's how I feel about people just as a civilian.
Right.
I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do, as long as it doesn't affect me in a negative way. I mean, I really don't care.
Right. Keep it to yourself. I'm not out there going to be Agent 99 snitching on you because I saw you walk into a gay bar because what am I doing by the gay bar?
You better ask somebody.
Exactly.
What was you doing over there?
And that's our problem. We're so busy worried about what our neighbor's doing. We're not worried about her. And so she's in the military, not exercising her rank and her position and try not to offend nobody. You're not there to be everybody's friend. You're there to do your job and to make sure that they're doing their job.
Right.
So obviously she's intimidated by her troops, which she should not be. And that's why, remember you asked me earlier?
Okay, but hold on.
Go.
We can be very intimidating.
And that's fine.
Because I'll tell you a story. I got a lot of them for you guys. I was at Winco. The very first time I went to Winco.
The best chicken in the world.
Shout out to Winco. Very first time I was at the grocery store. So, I'm, cruising along with my basket in the produce section and all this other stuff. And out of nowhere, I hear, I see you looking at that bitch.
Yeah.
I kid you not.
Yeah.
I see you looking at that bitch.
Yeah, that happens on Winco right after the first of every month. So between the 1st and the 6th, you can see that incident happening every month.
And so, like everybody else, I was shocked, like, what's going on here? So it's this black woman. Apparently, she saw her man looking at some white girl. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, no, baby, no. Yes, it is. I seen you looking at that white bitch. Mm-hmm. You was. And he was trying to, calm her down.
Right.
And so she's like, yeah, that's right. Because you did cheat on me with a white bitch. But I mean, this went on for like 3 minutes. And everybody's just horrified. Mm-hmm. Horrified. And I'm like, so that was intimidating to me. Yeah. That was intimidating.
Okay.
What if I wanted to say, ma'am?
See, in the military, you shouldn't be in the military if you get intimidated easy, because we are supposed to be what? War fighters.
Okay, but the point that I'm making is sometimes we can be intimidating.
Right.
I
but here's how you deal with that you deal with that as a supervisor. Remember earlier in this program, I said, process their black ass out. Right? See how quick that was? I don't have to put up with this book. You're out. Simple as that. Cut and dry. Go back to Tennessee, wherever you're from, and good luck to you.
Right. Good luck. Do
you see what I'm saying? Do you see how you deal with it? This is how it is. These are the rules. You know that?
You know we're very intimidating.
But that's how you deal with the intimidation.
Yeah. I just don't.
You don't?
I'm not going to deal with it.
Exactly. Right. Boom. You're out. You can't conform. You're out.
But then she gets a reputation. I'm going to play devil's advocate now. Then she gets a reputation of having a low tolerance for black women. If you look at such and such, record, at all the last 10 black women, or women that she put out of the military or the troops, whatever you call it, were black women. So I think she's biased against black women.
So what? She's in the military. So what? So what? If you have a problem, there's a thing in the military called the chain of command. Go to the chain of command. They will investigate. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, they're going to find out you're wrong. An airman, an E3, an E2 is not going to control the chain of command. It's as simple as that.
Right. Well, I mean,
it's cut and dry. Like I said, we are not a social experiment. And those of us that are old school, like I said, when I was a troop, you did it because that sergeant said so. If that sergeant told you to do something, It's not on me. It's on him or her.
Right.
That's it. I don't question it. Unless it has to do with my job, I'm going to question it. But the military is not a social experiment, and that's the problem. You have these new generation kids coming in there. A couple of months ago, there was a girl that a black girl that was saying something about she should. It was a couple months ago. Ignorant Negroes that'll come in there, and about I need to be by a city because I was raised in a city and I'm out here in North Dakota.
Oh, so she calling the shots.
Well, yeah, she's like I should be stationed here because I don't know anything about the country. I don't.
Well, you'll learn.
Yeah, why the fuck did you join the military? Right. You don't have to. You give all that stuff up. We are not a social experiment, and that's one of the problems I had. And that's like I said, as a good troop, instead of being a problem, which I would have become.
Right.
I decided to leave.
Right.
My time is over. It's time to go. And those of my fellow military people that are my age that are still in there, I would strongly recommend you yourself.
Get out.
Get out while you can, because you make one bad mistake or everybody wants to be political, 20-something years of your service has now gone down the drain.
Right.
So,
and that's too bad. Yeah. That's really too bad that that's the way things have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just think, for me, it wasn't. I didn't see her being disrespectful. Yeah. I think she asked a valid question. Like I said, I'm a black woman, and 7 out of 10 experiences that I've had, if I had to put a number to it with black women, has not been good. Right. Has not been favorable. I mean, I should write a book, but I don't want to do that because that would be kind of negative to say. All the experiences I've had would, because all fairness, maybe somebody can say they've had a bad experience with me. Well, I doubt it, but
yeah. Well, I mean, people tell me to go on like social sites, and so I go on the social sites and I read the profiles, right?
Right.
And that's why I haven't bought into the social sites.
As far as dating?
Yeah, it's dating. Okay. You read the social sites, and the profiles are angry. I want a man that's like this, and he better have money, whatever. And then you look at where she works, warehouse worker. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you got to be perfect, but I'm saying even in the profiles, it comes off angry. How do you attract somebody and you're saying, I want this? You don't even know me yet.
Well, she's putting you on notice.
Right,
but you got to bring to the table.
But guess what? And that woman's been on that profile for how many years now?
Her grandkids are now on the site with her.
Or here you are, you want this, guy, whatever the deal is, and you're looking like a McDonald Land character. Grimace, the purple guy. I'm telling you, there is something wrong with, seriously, that stereotype. I'm not saying it's a true stereotype, but it is a true stereotype. Not all black women, but there is something going on with our black women. And why are they angry? Okay, and I'm going to give you even a better example, a personal example. I have a niece, my oldest niece, one of the worst attitudes of a young
Describe
woman
it.
I've ever seen.
Because that's another thing, too. A lot of times people say, you have a bad attitude. Well, what does that mean exactly?
Okay, she has a bad attitude. What I mean is like, she feels that everything should go her way. Mm-hmm. Entitlement. Mm-hmm. She has a baby with a loser that has nothing his own family didn't want. And so here's what I think as an uncle. You're mad at the world because this guy isn't what you thought he said he was going to be.
Right.
And everybody told you he wasn't going to be. So now you look like a damn fool.
Right.
You're doing everything by yourself. And this is a story of a lot of young girls.
Mm-hmm.
He's in and out of jail or whatever your situation is. But you made that decision.
Nobody twisted their arm?
Right. No, nobody told you.
Wasn't forced upon him?
Right. Why didn't you ask enough questions? If he says he works over here, why didn't you go and check?
Right.
Your uncle wrote the the book of game.
Who's read the book of Ike?
Yes, I read the book of Ike. I told you what was going to happen, what to look for.
Right.
Ask questions. You can never ask enough questions. Like that great President Ronald Reagan once said, I trust you. I just want to verify. But who would be against that?
I agree with his statement, but I don't like.
I don't agree. He was the Antichrist. Ronald Wilson Reagan, 666.
Right.
But anyway, but that's what I think a lot of the problems are with our young women. They make these bad mistakes, and then they're angry about it, and they take it out on
somebody has to take the blame for the decisions they make.
And then the kids suffer in it, and and then they're going through the drama with the father. It makes them more angry, and now they're grown, and people don't want to do for them because you're grown. They're just angry all the time. And I mean, just a bad. I mean, she's a sweet girl, but very bad attitude and an entitlement attitude, and I see that in a lot of young women.
And God rest my mama's soul. I remember when I had my daughter. When I had my daughter, I was 21. And, I wasn't really out there like that. And, so me and her father.
They have a plaque of D and at 29 Palms. right on the day. Yes.
Undefeated to this day.
Yes.
Since 1990.
That's it.
I'm lying. But anyway, yeah, so when I had my daughter, me and her father, we shortly after I had her, we started having problems and stopped getting along and all of that other stuff. But I had the type of mom that was like, well, that was a situation you created.
Right.
I'm not going to be one of those mamas talking about, oh, that's my baby. That's my baby. She's like, I will help you as much as I can, but you're going to raise this baby. And...
No wonder I stopped seeing you at the Metro.
Oh, yeah, we got to shut it down. They have to shut it down. You can't take a baby on the hip at the Metro. I said, that's what my mom wasn't going to do. She was not going to be watching my child while I'm out there shaking my butt, potentially bringing home baby number 2 and then baby number 3 with, some other things.
But can I say this? At least you were smart and went for the guy that had benefits.
Right. My daughter benefited from now, but, but I don't know, it's just, I didn't have enough time to be angry about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because she pretty much told me that was a decision you made. If it works out with him or not, this is still your child. You got to raise her and do the best that you can. And so, like I said, I didn't have time to be angry, but I didn't have the type of mind that's like, yeah, that nigga, he ain't no good. Right. He just he did this to you. And I was just like, you did grown people stuff.
Yeah, I see my niece, she's not going to school now. I mean, even when people are advising her, what to do. Take 1 class, 2 classes, because after a couple of years, you're going to graduate. No!
Wow.
No! Just mad at the world.
Does your niece watch this?
No.
Because I was going to give her a little word of advice.
No, but I will tell her to watch it, and she'll probably watch it.
We'll say her name is Bethany for the last. I hope I didn't guess it right.
No.
Bethany. I would just say this.
Just address her, Miss Malloy.
Miss Malloy. I was once in your shoes. Well, not maybe quite that way, but life doesn't get better by sitting around waiting for somebody to save you. The baby daddy probably will never act right, but that still doesn't absolve your responsibilities as a mother. You owe it to that child to become the best you so you can help that child become the best he or she. It's your duty to do that. No longer can you hold on to excuses about this person didn't do this, that person didn't do that, was because of this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 that I'm where I'm at.
Right.
Nobody's going to save you but you.
Right.
And so if you want a better life, stop waiting for somebody else to give it to you. Go take what you deserve.
Right. Exactly. And, like I said, I love her to death. She's my niece and everything like that. But, she's 25 years old. You're grown at this point. I've given you've asked me for help, I've given you the best advice I can give you. And yet you still won't take it.
Well, I mean, some people's rock bottoms are not the same as other people's. And so, I don't know, but some people, I hate to say it, and I'm not, speaking that onto your niece's life, some people never wake up. Some people will have 20, 30, 40 years of the same.
Yeah, very, very true. And I'm glad that you say that, because like I said, and the reason why I use my own personal family member in this is because I don't want people out there to say, oh, he's just talking about people and
just making up stuff.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is why I get frustrated in some of the things that I'm saying, because some of the messages I'm putting out there is for my own family members.
Well, yeah, and I'm quite sure I was speaking to one of my family members.
Exactly. So nobody's absolved of living this perfect life.
And it just to the rest of the black women, because I'm a black woman and I'm speaking to you. If you feel angry because of something that's going on in your life, don't be angry. It's a waste of time, emotion, just everything. It's a waste. Turn that into something positive. That's what I did, and I'm not trying to say I was all that. But once me and my daughter's father ended our relationship, my daughter was 1. So, I tell this story sometimes, but a lot of people don't know. He left. I came home and everything was taken out of the house. And he told me, one of his last things was, go home and live with your mama. Go back home to your mama.
I'm done with you.
Now, mind you, he left me and his daughter with nothing.
Right.
I went and got 3 jobs. and the rest is history.
Rest
and I
is
have
history.
2 degrees sitting right here.
Right. Rest is
So-
history. You didn't wait on anybody.
I
So.
did not. And I didn't go back home to my mama either.
Right. Exactly. But you did what you had to do.
Do what I had to do. I had
You know,
to save me.
Right. And I'm not saying, you had to do this, but everybody needs help. My mom needed help after my father died. But she didn't make it a lifestyle. She did what she had to do, got a job, and the rest, they say, is history.
You know what? I got on the system for like 6 months.
My mom, 6
I
months.
couldn't do it.
Right.
I was like, I can't do it. Y'all want to know all of that? Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
But the thing is, we need a safety net in social. It should not be a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's the good point of what we're saying. So, again, that sergeant, I hope somebody gives her some remedial training on how to supervise. Do I believe that there's an attitude problem with our black women? Yes, I've experienced it within my own family. Absolutely. We tried to do a family tree real quick.
Oh, God.
Asked my cousins, well, who's that baby dad? You don't even know that? Well, Howie, I can't tell you how many double cousins I have. I'm telling you, I have a lot of double cousins. But, again,
You don't need to know
you don't even know that.
Mind your business.
Yeah. And so be saying,
John Doe. Just put
right.
John Doe
So
up
be
there.
saying the family tree cannot be complete. Okay, so
And I would just like to say this before
Yeah.
we leave. I will ride for black women,
Yes,
but
I
I
will too.
will not lie for black women.
thank you very much. You guys stay tuned. We're going to be back in the second hour. Dee has a couple of great things she wants to put up, and we're going to put it up in just a second. You guys stand by.